Hello everyone, thank you for joining us. This is John Reel from Trackerly, and today we're joined by Jason Hodge, who is a client who will be introducing himself in a moment because he's actually going to run the show and be promoting this webinar to his list as a replay and creating a course on Trackerly, which this webinar is going to be the start of his information gathering for creating that course. So Jason Hodge is on the call, and Leanne Parmy is also on the call, who is our marketing trainer, and she'll be basically taking over. And I'm going to sit back and relax and enjoy and just pipe in if I'm needed here and there. So Jason, can you take over and begin it like it's your show, because from now on, it is.
All right. All right, and John's going to be eating the popcorn in the background. Hey, y'all. Jason Hodge here. I'm a media planner, and as you guys know, that I do a lot of work with nonprofit organizations, large and small, and civic organizations. And when I came across Trackerly, it actually was from one of my friends and mentors, Gina Gaudio-Graves, who let me know about this amazing platform. And I wanted to see what the applications and implications of this software is, this platform, to be able to help not only create the right type of links, tracking, and to be able to understand the metrics of my clientele, but also how to help the industry at large become better at getting in front of their ideal customers, their ideal funders, their ideal supporters. So with all of that said, I've been hearing a lot of great things about Trackerly, and I wanted to ask a lot of questions, have them walk me through the process, and in turn let you benefit from the process as well. So Leanne is going to be walking me through this and showing me how this works, and I know that you're going to benefit greatly because I've got a lot of questions. All right, Leanne, thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely. So, and believe it or not, this is my first time meeting Jason. So he's spoken with John Reel, and for me, this is kind of my first real introduction. So I'm kind of excited to hear what he's doing and how his clients can be helped with Trackerly. And of course, I always love showing off my pretty much my favorite tool for tracking online at this point. I've been using Trackerly for 9 years. And I've used a ton of other tracking software, and this has been the only one that's lasted 9 years. So, you know, whatever the result of that, you know, whatever you can glean from that, I guess, is it's definitely something a little bit different, and I love sharing it. So. A little bit about myself. I know you guys probably know either John or you know Jason, but you don't know who I am. I've been in the world of online marketing and paid media for the last 7 years. I have a background in education, and I've created the content behind several six-figure launches. I've also served as the director of training for 2 internet marketing companies. I've got over 30 courses out there that have helped entrepreneurs go from 0 to 6 figures, covering a wide array of topics in web marketing, mobile marketing, offline marketing, and more. And that's pretty much my background. I've been working with John on Trackerly because I think it's such an amazing tool, and yeah, and so I'm really excited to to work with Jason now. And believe it or not, Jason sent like, you know, I think John asked him to send a few questions. You know, what's he interested in knowing? And he basically, I've got the email open. You can't see it on my screen. I've got it kind of open on the side. He basically sent like 100 questions. No joke. I think there's like 100 lines here with different questions. So. Don't worry, we're not going to make this like a 5-hour webinar or anything, but I'll definitely try to answer everything for you guys so that, you know, so as it becomes clear to Jason, it becomes clear to you as well. One thing I want to encourage is we're on live right now, so ask questions. There's, I think most people are already familiar with GoToWebinar. If not, you've got a little panel, and in that panel there's a space where you can actually type. So do me a favor real quick, let's just practice this. Just say hi or yes or I can hear you or whatever you want to say in that box. And let's just make sure that everyone's like cool with it, you know how to use it, you know that I'm going to see your question, because I want to make sure that as I'm answering questions, you can follow up and say, wait, you know, that was interesting, but what about this? Or you can ask your own questions or get clarification or just make comments. So go ahead and say something in the box right now. I actually see a bunch of people on. This is cool. So, but what I want to show you today is the actual nuts and bolts. And as you can tell from my dashboard here, I've been using it for a little while. So like I said, 9 years, and that 9 years has involved about, almost 40,000 visitors to my links, over almost 15,000, over 14,000 redirect links. So I am very much a heavy user of Trackerly, and I love it. You can see that some of my links have gotten a ton of clicks. John's using it at the beginner level. That's awesome, John. So Jason, let's get started with the questions, and so that I can best serve you and your audience, can you tell me a little bit about your work with nonprofits? What do you actually help them do?
Well, with nonprofits, I help them plan out their media. And so that, it goes from everything from how they show up in media, what they're doing with their websites, more of the infrastructure, and then that spills into the cosmetics. Also, what type of things go along with it. Say, for example, that they had a creative out there and they wanted to make sure that that marketing piece, that they know how effective it is. So I may say, okay, well, you want to have a specific link in there in order to establish that anybody who visits your thing from that link or from that QR code, from that particular campaign or keyword, whatever it is, that there's a way for us to track it to know where you should be spending your money in the future. If you're only getting, 2% of the market share from a specific thing that goes out in the newspapers, well, that could be a clue that you're not making good use of your spend if you're going in the newspaper when you're getting 98% somewhere else. So the best way to track that is to have certain links that when people visit them, we know, oh, that came from newspaper or magazine A or B. So for that, that's the one thing. Another thing is that I do what is called intrapreneurism, and that's not intra but intra, and that is how do the organizations generate income within their organizations. So I go through each department and look at ways to make that department cash positive. And so that could be anything from e-commerce to creating products, taking intellectual properties and converting those into products, and then selling those products on the open marketplace or in the digital space. And so for that, again, we need to know how much is coming in from each thing? How are the links that are inside of those products, how are those being clicked? So that's why Trackerly, when I saw it, I said, oh, this has many different possibilities from what it is that I heard around the uses of it. So yeah, so that's kind of in a nutshell what I do. Also go into training on if they are getting ready for going on the television circuit or the radio, how well established are they, how comfortable are they in front of those mediums, how comfortable are they being interviewed. So we go through a series of questions. I have one system that I have them go through a month of just getting acclimated to the camera and to the radio. So I'll have them taping themselves on camera every day, 3 times a day, and then there's a critiquing process that they go through in order to fine-tune. So by the time that they're at the end of that month, they're very well versed with how to show up on camera or on radio.
I'm looking at a few things that you said. First of all, that you help them when you're planning their media, you're helping them with the cosmetics of things. And I'm thinking, wow, Tracker links are phenomenal because they're not these ugly links that you might get from Infusionsoft or Entreport or whatever tools they're using out there. And so you're going to have really nice, trustworthy links. I don't know if you've ever played the link game. We might, I might try to make John put it up if it's working, but that's a great demonstration of the cosmetics of good links. I also heard that you want to make their creative marketing piece effective. You want to track the efficacy of it, and that's definitely something that you can do here. Something else that they might already be doing or not, which you can do with Trackerly, is dropping pixels and targeting, which is a phenomenal way to get, basically to quadruple or more your returns from your ad spend. So yeah, so definitely something that Trackerly will allow you to do. In terms of the intrapreneurism, how to actually generate income within the organization, again, a lot of that is going to be tracking what's going on. And, you know, one thing I always think about with Trackerly is it's this one place to put everything so that, you know, big organizations, small organizations, and so on, they all tend to get lost in the number of tools that they've got to keep track of. And to have everything in one dashboard makes such a huge difference that I can really see that helping when you've got all these things going on. You know, they're trying to do all these things, and they're trying to create cash and so on. So,
and you know, Leanne, when it comes to businesses, whether it's nonprofit or the for-profit sector, one of the things that comes up quite often is we don't really have enough time, you know, a lot of time to do a whole bunch of things. So when you have a solution where everything's underneath one umbrella, for the most part, that becomes a very attractive thing, because then it's a matter of just getting them trained on the one platform as opposed to 10.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Most definitely. So good. So let's get started with some of your questions. And I'm looking at the email that you sent with the 500 questions. Every time I look at it, it's like there's more questions.
It just grows, yes.
520. And
exactly.
And you've got some pretty simple questions in the beginning, which are, you know, like how do you actually set this up? You know, like how do you actually create a redirect, create a, you know, a destination? How do you basically manage all this stuff? So pretty simple. And this is, again, we're just using my installation. So you know, I do a lot of online marketing, a lot of network marketing. So you'll see keywords and brand names that have to do with that, and you can just ignore those and look at how I actually do the thing. The button, the magic button on Trackerly is this one that I'm hovering over and circling over at the top here that says new, and it has a little plus. That's the magic button because it does everything. And all you need to do is click on new and then pick whether you want a destination or a redirect, okay, or a domain. For the most part, if I'm doing something new, I'll usually start with the destination because I know where I want to send people. Okay, so I'll click on destination, and I'll create a link. So we're going to call this link Jason Hodge Trackerly Demo. Okay, and the nice thing about giving that name is that I can later search for it and find it if I need to, right? If I need to edit it or change it. There's a niche option that you can select. I personally don't use this because to me it just takes time. Some people I know do use it if they've got, let's say, you know, they're doing something in business opportunity and they're doing something in careers and jobs, and then they're doing something in the financial sector, and they want to keep everything separated that way. I've never really used it because there's a lot of other ways to search for things like the custom groups. Next step you want to do is actually put the URL. So we're going to take you somewhere very special.
And quick question, Leanne, in relation to the niche. If you select a niche, does that does that change the functionality of the link, or it stays still as if you didn't have anything in there?
So say that again.
If I were to select like a link, like say for an example, finance, does it change the way that the link itself works?
No. Not at all.
Deal.
No, it's for your organization only.
Got it. Okay.
So someone who's very organized, which, you know, in some institutions you'll probably find really organized people, and they'll select everything and be very clear about it, and in some you'll find people who are totally disorganized. So this does not make a difference. It's only for those people who really want to, you know, hyper-organize, let's say. So we need a destination URL. And Jason, what is your website?
Well, I have one that is that you guys actually have inside of the system, and that is the askjah.com, askjah.com. Perfect.
All right. Now we're going to add a custom group. The custom groups are what makes this really, really simple to find. And you can actually, what I do with custom groups is I'll put a group name on links that are all around the same promotion. So if I have something that I'm promoting, I'll give it one name and I'll use that. And sometimes I'll put multiple groups just to make it easier for me to find. In this case, we're going to just put demo, and we'll create that group so we can find stuff for a demo group. And if you actually start typing something that you have, like if I start typing I, you'll see that I have a lot of different groups that start with that letter, right? So it actually helps you find what you wrote before. See, and so you don't have like 5 groups that are all written differently. Finally, there's a space for notes. Again, that's for the super organized. Great for large organizations. I'm a one-person show, right? Large organizations, someone else might be going into the software tomorrow and going, what was this for again? And so that's what you would put in the notes.
Awesome.
Right, so once you save that, you've got the destination.
Like how you would write on the back of a business card.
Yeah, exactly. So like you go to a meeting or something like that, and you write down a couple of notes about the person you met, and yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. You would write a couple of notes about the destination. Hey, this is Jason Hodge's awesome site, and whatever else you want to know about it. So absolutely.
Okay.
Or it might be in an organization. It might be for a particular campaign. Hey, this is for the let's see. What do some of your clients do? What are some of their
the majority of them deal with kids. Some deal with developmental disabilities. Some deal with at-risk youth. One that looks like I'm about to pick up, a new client, deals with a new school that takes education to a whole different level. So
cool.
usually
So is that like a charter school or?
I don't. Well, it's a 501c3, so they fall underneath the nonprofit status. Not sure if it's a charter or not. It is one where folks pay to get into. So.
Okay. So it could be like for back to school promotion. That could be the notes, right?
Okay.
As an example. And if you hear that screaming, that's I have a huge parrot, and she's way off in the other room. She's really loud.
She doesn't like to smoke.
No, absolutely not. So this screen has a lot of really cool stuff on it. Okay, but first thing we're going to do is something really simple, which is to add a redirect, right? Okay. Once you have a destination in the system, this destination pretty much stays in there, and unless you delete it, which I don't recommend, it will actually keep your stats in there for no matter what redirects you send to it. So if you're trying, let's say you have, let's say that you have 2 campaigns, but you're sending those campaigns to the same thing. You have a TV campaign and you have a radio campaign. And I'll show you how to do the redirect link, but each one is going to have a separate redirect link, and each of those redirect links are going to track what's going on with, how many visits they got, right? How many people actually went to that URL. And at the same time, if you want to see your overall stats, the destination will show you that. So that's always going to be in the system. So it's a really nice separation where you can see, hey, this is how the campaign, the entire destination did across all traffic, across all media. But here's how it did on radio, here's how it did on TV, and so on. So you can really, you can really separate and see, like you were saying, hey, what's that 2% that's doing really well, and that 98% that's not doing so well, and you can focus on the thing that's doing really, really well for you. So let's add a redirect. This is all really, really simple, which makes it easy. So again, you want to give a reference name. So this might be Jason Hodge Trackerly demo, and then we're going to say this is the TV version. Okay, this is the TV ad. Okay. Now I get to choose what kind of link I want to do. Now, if John will let us play the game later, then you'll get a really fun explanation of what all of these are. For now, I'll do a really brief explanation. QR code is something that you would do offline. QR code is something you might have on the outside of a business. It's one of those. Do you know what a QR code is?
Yes.
Yeah. So anyone who does it,
yeah, there you go.
Yeah. It's called a quick response code. And most smartphones nowadays have scanners, or you can download a scanner app, and it'll actually scan these. These are these square barcodes that you see in California, pretty much everywhere. In other parts of the country, I'm not sure. But basically, it allows you to scan something, and it can give you information. And one of those pieces of information could be a website, which is what it does in Trackerly. So if you were going to print a poster, or if you're going to, create a big sticker to put outside of a business, that's what you would use. That's something that you would use.
And Jason, I believe you actually use QR codes quite a bit, right?
I do. I love them.
Yeah, I'd like to hear how you're using your QR codes in your business now if you want, or at some point during the call. That'd be very good. Because Leanne's like, I don't use QR codes. I know people use them. I know what they're for. But she doesn't actually use them in her marketing. And it's great to talk to people who are doing creative things with different types of marketing. So, because you can't do it all.
So that's a great idea, John. If Jason, if you could give us a quick blurb about how you use QR codes, and then we'll see how that would work with Trackerly.
Okay, yeah, and QR codes, what I love about them is that they have the ability to expand to however your mind goes. QR codes, I use them for, those V cards. I use them for sending people to links, of course, sending people to videos, sending people to capture pages, to newsletters, to, I move people around the web with QR codes. I use QR codes also if I have a link that is going to then redirect them to another link. Like say, for example, that I have a link that's set up and it's on a rotation. So the first time they may scan the code, it'll take them to one thing. Well, if that same person scans the QR code again, I may have them go somewhere else. Maybe it's another portion of this series of the same video if I'm doing a multi-part series. Or maybe I have them go straight to a capture page after they've seen the video. It's like, okay, second go round, now in order for you to get the next portion, you've got to now opt in. So there's a number of ways I use it. Also, when it comes to instructional videos on, like, say, for example, I happen to be doing something culinary. I'm a chef, by the way. When I'm not media planning, I chef. So I may do a food demo, and attach that to a QR code. I may take the QR code and have them connect into a webinar that I'm giving. Yeah, so there's a number of ways I use it. One of the more creative ways is, having them do a scavenger hunt. QR code will give them one clue that'll take them over to another thing or to a progressive type of meal. We do progressive meals to where we start out at one restaurant and then move all the way through to different restaurants. You scan the code to let you know which restaurant is on the docket for your next venture. So yeah, there's a number of ways that I love using QR codes.
That's absolutely amazing. I think that's the, yeah.
I just want to hear where you're putting them in these different scenarios that you're talking about. Where are you actually putting your QR codes? Because I think you said something about putting them on websites too, which I thought was very bizarre.
You can put them on. No, well, I use them to send people to websites.
Okay.
If I'm putting them on a website, it's not as effective because that would mean that they have to have their laptop and scan it with their laptop. But most people, when they're on their phone, they're accessing websites from their mobile device. So there's no real way for them to actually use the QR code unless I make the QR code itself a clickable link. So it's the image that becomes a clickable link to take them to where the QR code would originally take them if they scan it. But somebody else could scan it, like say that they're going to do some shopping at a store, and then the store says, okay, well, just show this QR code, so they can bring the QR code that is on their phone, and then the store itself can scan it to give them their discount or whatever else that they're getting that's attached to the QR code. It can be used for geo-targeting. I mean, there's a number of things that you can do with QR codes that I absolutely love. Makes things a lot more efficient.
That's amazing. That's the biggest use of QR codes I've ever heard in my life. And
I just touched the tip of the iceberg on how you can use them.
And here's what I love about what you said and how it relates to Trackerly, Jason. So, you were saying you do rotations. You can do a rotation link via Trackerly, and you can have your QR code rotate. And what I love even more is, let's say you set up a QR code and you put it somewhere, and you go, oh, I wish I sent them somewhere else. You can change it. You decide you want to do a new video series, you can change where they're going. So after the QR code is already printed, you can make a change to the URL. You can change where they're going after it's already printed and posted somewhere.
And the thing that you said about having them go to one URL the first time they click and going to an opt-in page the second time they click, you can automate that with Trackerly as well.
Love
Exactly,
it.
exactly. And you can decide to have them, go randomly to some place. You can decide to have it go one after the other and so on. So really, really powerful way to keep track of everything. And then your old QR codes are never old because you can just update where they go.
Love it. And then in relation to the QR codes, is this how large can those QR codes be? Because some sites with QR codes. I used to use a site a while back, and it would give me the option of creating a vector graph, which I can expand it to however large I want to expand. So if it were to go on a billboard, I could expand it without losing any of the detail, and I can shrink it down as small as I want. How are the QR codes set up in Trackerly?
You know what? Let's play with it. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's make our TV ad a QR code. Here, let's actually call this QR code. Because I don't know if I'd put a QR code on TV because that moves too much. And then once again we have custom groups. So I'm going to name this demo, and that way I can always search for it. And remember, again, we're working on our redirect now to that destination. So the next part is going to be to select the marketing type. If you're into that, I usually skip this screen. Once again, you can select the marketing type. So this could be the TV, right, television.
Let me ask you this. On the part that it says other, does that then give you the option of actually putting in what other is?
You can absolutely do that right here where it says details. So we can say TV ad right here.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, so depending, and then again, you can describe it. You can say, QR code on late night show.
Okay.
Okay, for example. All right, so we're going to save this. And now I'm really curious to what happens because I actually don't use QR codes. So here we go. Here it is.
So
here's
all you got to do is right-click on that, and you can do a save as or open it into a new tab to see its full size. And Jason, I've put it into the to-do list to make QR codes appear as vector graphics.
Awesome. Awesome.
So, it actually opened up the link, which is awesome.
Okay,
there
cool.
it is. So anyone watching who's a Trackerly person and never heard of Jason before, this is you, right?
Yep, that's me.
Perfect. So I saw that and I was like, huge smile. I actually asked John if you sound like you're smiling when you're talking, and I think you do.
Yeah, thanks.
So yeah, if you right-click on it.
And let's open the image in a new tab. How about that?
Yes, exactly. There you go. So
Okay,
so that's what it looks like. And you could easily take that into into a vector graphics thing and convert it into a vector graphic, but now that you mentioned that, it's like, oh, I never thought of that. I will take care of that.
Right.
Awesome. That's what I love about doing calls with John. Like you say something that you're like, oh, Dirk scanned it. That's awesome, Dirk. I love it. So
okay, and now question, because there are the QR codes that are set up, and the other platform that I used to use for doing my QR codes, it would give me three options. One of them was the level of error that it would allow me, right? So I can do like a 30%, a 70%. The higher that I went up, the more complex it was, and that way it had more information in it. So in case anything was missed, it'll still pick up the QR code. Does this have the ability to do that to where it can get complex? That way, if any of the information is cut off, it still has enough in there to pull up the information.
We set these up quite a long time ago, and I can't remember, but they are very simple links. So you could put a link to a Google map in there, which is a giant link, right?
Right.
But we're going to compress that down into one of our short links and then make a QR code that goes to the short link so that we can track it to the Google Maps page. So it's always only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 max characters. So it doesn't need a lot of resolution.
Great. Okay.
Cool. I'm glad. I knew you'd answer that, and I'm glad you did because I wouldn't have any idea how to answer that.
Awesome.
So okay, so let's play around with this QR code, okay? Because you use QR codes heavily, and the cool thing about redirect links in Trackerly is that you could add stuff to them, and you could do that with a QR code. So you could actually, first of all, you could split test, right? You can say, you know what, I don't know if my website or, you know, I don't know if I should send people to the About Me page or to a capture page. Let's see which converts better. And you can split test that. Okay, so if I click on split test, basically it gives me a chance to either add a new destination to this one or to create a new destination if I need to, right? And then you simply save that and you've got a split test running. I'm going to hit back because I want to show you some of the other features, okay, because these are super fun. I can go in here anytime. If I send people to a capture page and I'm like, you know what, I really just want to send them to my video sales letter, just click right here, point to a new destination, and you just change the destination. You get pretty much the same screen that we had before where you can add a new destination, right? You can manage this destination, make changes to it. It just goes back to the destination screen. You can duplicate this if you need to. John, what happens when you duplicate a QR code? Does it give you a different QR code?
It gives you a new QR code. So if you have multiple posters, you can put a different QR code on each poster and then use that as a way to geolocate. And it will tell you how many people click on each QR code and then how many people it's sent to, all of them sent to the total destination. You can do a lot of filtering as well. You could say, like, just show me all my QR codes and how many people went through my 50 QR codes to a destination or something like that. So,
nice. Okay.
As I'm showing this, my mind is blown because I'm learning so much about QR codes and always learning new stuff about Trackerly. I can't. It's hard to imagine that after 9 years, right, of using this tool, I'm still learning new things.
Well, we keep adding more to it.
And that's true too. There's always updates and upgrades, and it's just phenomenal. So we saw split test. We talked about duplicating. We talked about managing the destination or switching the destination.
Before you go on, we talked about split tests, but that thing that you were talking about, where you have somebody click on it once, first time they go to one destination, second time they go to another one, that would be in split tests.
Okay. So let's go ahead and show that. So let me add a new destination to track it to, and we're going to call this Jason Hodge 2. Okay. And we'll do a destination URL of, let's see, what simple destination URL do I not have yet? What's your other website? Do you have something for, you know, the chef stuff? Do you have another website for that?
I have a YouTube channel that I have a link set up for. So
cool.
you can
What's
go
your YouTube channel?
askja.com/cook.
Nice. Okay, so anyone who's a food enthusiast, likes to eat, definitely scan the QR code until you get there.
I'm about to revive that channel, so you're going to see some activity on it in the very near future.
Awesome, and I like eating, so I'm going to check it out. So I'm going to save this new destination URL. And now I get the screen. This is my split test, right? So I'm I'm adding these two. I can add as many links as I want to the split test, by the way. I can have probably 100. I don't know why anyone would have 100, but you could do that. If you're running a ridiculous amount of traffic, then you know 100 might make sense. For the most part, with paid media, I think that depending on the volume you're expecting to see, if you're split testing different variations of things, you might have 6 to 10 different. Is that kind of what your experience is?
Yeah, definitely. The more traffic that you have, and if you are doing like a multivariate split test, to where you're testing out a lot of different factors instead of just like, oh, should it be green or a blue, banner?
Right.
It's like you may be checking out, okay, we're changing out the pictures, we're changing out the banners, we're changing out the fonts, and the copy and all of that, and seeing which one of all of these are testing. So if you're driving an incredible amount of traffic, then yeah, that makes sense.
And just to be clear, that's not the kind of split testing we're doing. This is not on-page split testing of your website, and there's no multivariant testing or anything like that. This is dividing traffic between multiple destinations. So you kind of could do a like a simple split test like that, but it's basically for when you've got affiliate programs and you want to know which one converts better or which one pays out better, or which one people want to buy more of, and then you say,
or which sales letter is better. which sales letter is better, right? Or which, do people buy more books from the video sales letter or from the text sales letter, right? Those are the things that you can do.
Right.
So we're going to create the split test. And once again, you have a chance to be super organized. You can put notes in here. You can have a reference. I definitely need a reference name, actually. So we're going to do Jason Hodge split test demo. And now here are the choices that John was talking about. So we can remember the destination, which, John, correct me if I'm wrong, but this would mean that once someone lands on in the particular direction on one of those pages, they're going to keep landing on that one, and that's the only one they'll see, correct?
That's right. All right.
Okay. Now, if it forgets destination, then they'll just go to whichever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rotate means they will go to the first one, the second one, the third one. So this would be like the video idea, the video series. Like scan this the first time to go to the first video. If you're ready for the second one, scan it again. And they would go to the next one.
Okay, so question on that. So now does that base it on each individual IP address, or does that base it on somebody hit the first one, so the next person that comes in is going to automatically go to the second one?
It's based on cookies. So currently, though we're looking into other options as well, but currently it's based on cookies because IPs are kind of vague. Like everyone at AOL, if they've got AOL as their web or as their internet provider, has the same IP address. So you can't really use IP addresses. So we use cookies. We cookie the machine, and then if that person comes back, we know it's them. They go to the next video. But if I come as a brand new person, I go to the first one. And with this rotate over and over, once I get to video 3, if that's the last one, and I click again, I'll end up at video number 1. Where the last version, I stay on video 3 every time I click on it. So you might have video
Right, so this would be the landing page, right? They watched your series, they watched the first video, the second video, third video. Now they're on the landing page, and that's the only thing they get.
Got it. Love it. Okay.
So we'll do that, and then again, I get to put notes in here and say what I want to say. We'll hit next, and there we go. So we have the 2 links in here.
And you can change the order, so which one's going to be number 1 and which one's going to be number 2. That's what those little, so you can just drag them. And
okay, so we'll do this one right here, that one first, so they can get to see him and then see, the cooking. And then we'll hit next. And now this is kind of a cool feature. I've used this, and actually just recently, maybe a month ago, I Skyped John, and I said, John, I need to do blah, blah, blah. I need to change all these links. I have like 50 links going in different places, and I need to change all of them. And I don't want to go through and do each one separately. And he's like, you don't need to. So I changed one, and it gave me this. And I was like, yes, I'll redirect the other ones too. But in this case, we're not going to change anything else. Right. But this is really cool because it saves you a ton of time. So when you go back, let's say you have 100 QR codes out there because you're tracking everything, right? And then you go in and you're like, okay, I need to change the destination on this QR code. And all of them, you don't have to do it 100 times. You do it once, and then you apply it to all of them.
There'll be a third option there.
To revert that?
Sorry, I was just going to say, in that case, there would be a third option there that would say, pick from the 100 links going to this destination. So you just pick that option, and boom, it's done.
And yes, you can go and change it back anytime. You have control
over each individual? Like you can change them all back at once as well?
Yes, you can change them consistently.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Because see, when I saw that initially, my concern was, oh wow, if I change all of these links with one click, then does that mean that I'm going to have to go back through the 1,400 links or whatever it is, and change them individually back to where they were originally stated?
No, you would do it the same way. You would change one and then apply it to all of them.
Okay.
Yeah. And you could change it 100 times or 1,000 times if you wanted to.
I think the powerful thing is to be able to revert it back without having to, So if they all came from different places and I brought them all over to one, to be able to then say, okay, now go back to where you came from without my having to go back and program each one.
So we don't have that ability yet. It is something that I've been considering doing, is having basically a history so that you can do go through and undo.
Yes.
And that's a pretty time-consuming feature to add, so it's on the list. But one of the things, Jason, is that we haven't launched yet. We've been doing it for 9 years. We had our initial launch 9 years ago and sold out in a week, and it hasn't really been promoted ever since. And we're gearing up for a huge launch in November. And we're putting all these people together and getting it all ready and doing like a big full-scale launch, and all the proceeds from that go right back into the company, into hiring people and getting more programmers. I actually have a new programmer who just joined me yesterday and is starting to get up to speed. And we're going to be able to add features like that much faster without it slowing down everything else. So it's going to get like 10 times better over the next year.
Awesome.
Everything's going to get better. All the things that we did quick ways that I wanted to do slow and better ways will be done slow and better ways.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. So I was thinking something. Oh yeah. So first thing before I forget, right before we got back to the screen, I hit the save button. That's one thing you always want to do, is you want to make sure you get to the place where you have that save button and you click it. Otherwise, if you're in the process of doing something and you X out, it won't save. So you always want to make sure that you get to that save button. And I think I requested the feature of autosave from John, so we'll see what happens with that. Another thing I wanted to bring up is this perhaps might not be your business model, but what some people do is they might have a lot of traffic running, right? And they've got their links, their QR codes, whatever it is, all over the place, and they're always got clicks coming in because of it, right? Always have people scanning and going in there or clicking on the links if it's online, and they'll have, let's just say, someone who is an SEO consultant, right? They help people place videos on the first page of Google, right? They help them get traffic from that. Well, what they might do is, if they have a ton of that traffic coming in and they're selling it to a client on a recurring basis, to create a recurring business model, that client stops paying. They go in here and redirect to a new client who wants to pay them. And so they're in control of that traffic. So as an example, if you were doing a huge campaign for one of your clients and for some reason they said, you know what, we're going to stop, or maybe they weren't legit, or something else happened and you got scammed, right? As a service provider, that's really tough because you put in a lot of work to these clients and you do a lot of services. If something like that happens, you've got the power to go in here and make that change and send that traffic to a client who you want to send it to.
Right.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so just a side idea. So you can see that split test on is green, right? You have two indications. It says on, it's green, so anyone who's colorblind can still see that it's on. And it gives you the information, one redirect to two destinations, right? That's what we've got right now. Now, another couple of cool things that you can do, you can actually frame this link if you wanted to. Now, I know that John is not a fan of framing, and in his words, he says it breaks the internet.
Breaks the internet.
And there's a lot of people who use framing to do things that aren't that great, but then there are also a lot of really cool things you can do when you frame something. John, do you want to talk about some of the cool things you can do when you frame a website?
Oh,
because if I talk about it, I'll say the stuff you don't like.
Well, the part of the thing with framing, we've been told for over a decade now that you need to cloak your redirect links, your affiliate links in particular, to by framing them to protect your commissions. And cloaking has so many different definitions, and it gets confusing. You're cloaking your affiliate links by just using a redirect link. So any affiliate link that you put into Trackerly is automatically cloaked in that sense, in that people cannot see your affiliate link. They have to click on something which will take them to your affiliate link, and at that point they're already cookied. So the purpose of framing them, I think, is actually a mistake. And the problem with that is that chances are that your redirect link is not on a secure site, and then you've got them framed in this not secure site, and you take them to a checkout page, and the little lock disappears. so they're less likely to buy. So I don't think framing is very good. However, there are legitimate reasons to frame links occasionally. Just I don't think the real reason that people do it is the right one. But you can put in a header or footer using Trackerly to say, hey, make sure to come back and get your bonus after you purchase, or something like that if you're promoting an affiliate link. You know, there's various things you can do. Honestly, I don't like focusing on it too much. So, you know,
I got a really cool idea a second ago, and it just slipped my mind. So if I remember it, I'll say it. But it's a really cool way to use framing. But one thing is that, you know, for people who, you know, they want to use framing because they're trying to inject affiliate links or something like that, you can actually do that in a much nicer way with Trackerly. So we'll show that in a second. But
I just wanted to mention there's a few questions and compliments. Thanks, Dirk. This tool is the bomb. We'll get to your questions towards the end. I think we'll just continue through and then get to all questions at the end, if that makes sense.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. I'm seeing all the questions come in, and yeah, we're definitely going to get to that. So Ivy and Dirk and anyone else who asks the question until we get to a little Q&A. So really cool thing about framing is I love using it for Facebook. And here's the reason. If I frame this, and let me see if it'll pull up for me here. I can set the title. So title is what shows up in Facebook, right, as underneath an image. So I can put my title in there and say something like, you know, Jason Hodge rocks, right?
Yes.
Yes. And I can add a header, footer. I'm not actually going to do that. I don't actually have any saved, so John will be glad to know I don't tend to break the internet often.
Right.
I'm not going to apply to anything new, but you have the option to do that, you know, to always have links like that. And now if I take this link and I put it on Facebook or someone goes to it, first of all, the top part of my screen is actually going to show, you know, Jason Hodge rocks, or I probably would put, you know, John Media Group, right? And then if I put it on Facebook, we'll have that as well underneath whatever image I select. So it's a really nice way to kind of decide what you want shown on social media. So I'm going to turn off cloaking here. Okay. And again, I don't know if you noticed I had the choice to change any other links that were related, and yes, I confirm that. I'm expecting a thank you page from John after, oh, nope. So, all right, some other cool things. Let's talk about link juice. If you're doing SEO, right, search engine optimization, then if you're sending somebody from your website to this redirect, you kind of want to keep your link juice, right? Protect the refers SEO wherever you're putting that. However, if I'm putting this link on social media and I'm putting it on other people's websites, and maybe I have a guest blog post somewhere, or there's, so if I'm putting out a press release and I want a nice link in there, I can, or even the QR code, not so much for QR code, I think, but when you have the other links, because QR code, you know, there's no SEO when it comes to offline marketing. But what you want to do when you're putting your links somewhere else is you want to actually send the link juice, right? So if I were placing this on other websites, I would help the destination's SEO, which would be my website. Okay. Now, you actually asked about scarcity. So you can limit one of two things. You can either limit the number of people that you get. So as an example, if you're giving away a bonus to the first 100 people who, let's say, respond to the ad, right, then you can do it that way. Or if, and this is something that I use a lot in marketing, you can limit the time that it's available. Hey, I'm only giving this, you know, I'm only making this course available until midnight tomorrow night, and that's it, and I can set that here. So let's do a time limit. and I'm going to give this a reference name. So I'm going to call this Jason Hodge time scarcity. Okay, we're limiting time, and we're going to give it an end date. So we'll give it today at let's do, yeah, sure, at midnight. So that would be tomorrow at midnight, right there. And I can put notes in here, you know, so this offer only available until midnight tonight. Okay, and that's for my info only. No one else is going to see that. Mm-hmm. I'm going to hit next. Okay, and again, I've got an option to do this for everything that I have. So again, you have 100 links out there. You can change them just right now, very, very simply. I'm not going to do that to future redirect links. And now I'm going to pick the expired destination. So if they click on it and it's expired, where do I want to send them? Well, I'll send them to a new destination that says something like, sorry, this offer is expired, but you can still buy, my course for, whatever. Or, but, here's a consolation gift, download my ebook. Right, and now I'm building my list. So I'm not going to actually add a new destination. I'll just pick, or let's send them to Google. I wonder, I probably have Google as a destination. Let's send them to ask.com. We'll put HTTP ask.com.
Or you could go back and search for Google and show how you can easily find your destinations in there.
Let's do that. So okay, so let's do this. I'm going to put google.com, which I bet I already have. I'm going to put this as, because we'll put this under demo, and I'm going to try to save this. And maybe I don't have Google, so we'll do it again if I don't. Okay, so I have an error message. Destination with this URL already exists. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to go back to my destinations, and I'm going to look for Google. And here it is. So here's my destination that I pick. And did I just lose that, John?
I didn't see what button you clicked to go back. If you clicked up there in the header, then yes, you lost it. If you clicked in the...
okay. Can we fix that?
Well, that's your back button, basically. Or, well, I see what you mean. Yeah. All right. We'll talk about that.
All right. So let's use the let's use the search to find what I needed. So let's find my redirect group. And it's under demo. Okay, here it is.
Okay, and so now when you're looking for the redirect group, if you do that drop-down menu again where it says redirect group, yes. What do each one of those traffic source URL? What do each one of those things do for your redirect name?
So it's like what you remember, right? It's how you organize organization. So you might search by the redirect name. Right, so I might look for Jason Hodge in the redirect name. Destination name, same thing. I'm going to look for Jason Hodge because that's what I called it. Redirect URL, maybe I know the URL that I'm sending people to, but I don't remember what the other stuff is, so that allows me to search that way. Destination URL, traffic source. Okay, if I pick the traffic source URL, I can see it there. The search keywords. And that has more to do with the statistics that Trackerly gives you, which are really, really amazing, actually, which I don't think we'll even get to that in this call because there's so much with Trackerly that it's impossible to do it in like an hour and a half call. It's absolutely impossible. Then there's redirect group and destination group, which is how I like to keep track of things. There's IP. So, for example, if you're finding that you're getting a lot of, spam from a certain IP, maybe it's a proxy or something, you can find it and stop the problem, right? Or you want to see if you personally have visited something and you know your IP address. So a lot of different things you can do with that. Maybe John can give a little more. But for now, let's look for a redirect group of demo. And here is our thing. And one of our attendees, Dirk, wanted to see the stats. So this is the stat screen. We've got 4 visits right now. And let's just play around with these buttons real quick while we're while we're deterred here, and then we'll go back to what we were doing.
Okay, now I have a question, Leanne. Now, where it shows 4 visits, is that because you clicked on it and popped over there, or is that because other people have gone there?
Both.
Okay.
Both.
Is there a
So
way
I'll
to
show you
limit
that.
it? Okay. I was going to ask if there's a way to limit it so that, like if I'm checking on a link to make sure that it's good, is there a way to make sure that that check doesn't show up in my metrics?
Well, what you can do is you can look at unique IPs and you can see that there's just 2 of us. So
Okay.
this is my URL right here, and this is probably Dirk.
Okay.
To answer your question, that is something else that is planned.
Okay.
You can, if you do a test, you can then delete all the data, but we do recognize the importance of being able to say, remove me from the data. And we're going to, we're making some changes that are pretty impressive that are going to be coming at some point. So we're going to wait until those changes are coming because it'll be much more accurate at that point.
Okay. And then also it would be great if we can do something that can remove, like say for example, that we have a team that is working on the different links and all that, like if you've got a VA or what have you, that they can be removed as well, and that way the test itself stays pure.
Yes, understood.
Okay.
It'll happen at some point.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're throwing a huge team at this starting in a few months.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So let's check out some of the options we have here. The first thing we can do is filter to this redirect link. We're already filtered to this because it's the only one we have into this group. But what you can do is if you want to see stats for a particular link, let's say you're looking at a group and you have 5 links and you go, wow, this one's interesting, I want to look at it, you can filter just to that one and you basically get this result of just one here. We can load it in Wizard, which we're going to do in a second because we need to go back to looking at all the cool stuff you can do with it. You can make a copy and edit, so you can basically duplicate it, right? You can duplicate the QR code, and you can do that from the Wizard as well, which you saw earlier. We can open the link to see where it goes, or we can add it to the graph to see just that, and right now that's what's showing on the graph. It's showing those there's 1 repeat visitor, that's going to be 4 total views, and then 1 repeat visitor, and you can see what you want to see on the graph. Okay, and the repeat visitor, of course, is Dirk, and then 4 total visits from both of us.
And so, actually, while you've got that up, what was the URL that's for? What's the link? The redirect link?
It's a QR code.
Oh, right. Never mind.
Yeah.
I was going to type it in my browser.
Yeah, so here's what we need to do. Yeah, so we need to, yes, okay, I know what we need to do.
Yeah, so you can just quickly open it in a new thing there, and it'll open it.
Basically, Dirk scanned it then from his screen to get there.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, he's using BTag, I think he was saying, BTag app or something like that. Not an app I'm familiar with, but you know, there's a lot of scanning apps out there.
If you hover over that link and click on the arrow button, so hover over
you want me to
that
go
one,
there?
and then and open it, and then come right back to the dashboard.
And it created a short link.
Right, yeah, right back to that.
Like you were explaining.
Quick.
And
then and just get off there so people can see the stats. And yeah, so you'll see that it updates with almost in real time. So no matter where your site is in the internet, it takes 30 seconds and it will bring in that click. So that's what the max delay is, 30 seconds.
All right, so let's see. Who's going to count 30 seconds? 1, 2, 3. All right,
and so you have to refresh to see that, or it'll automatically say
it? I just did it all by itself.
Yeah, if you blinked, you missed it. Yeah, if you blinked, you missed it right now.
Yeah. And it's really cool when you have multiple links and they're switching positions as the clicks are coming in, and one's beating the other.
So let's do this. Everybody pick up your phone right now and scan this. Everybody pick up your phone and scan this. I'm going to give you like a minute to do it. So open up your scanning app. Scan it. There's apparently an app called BTag. I have an app called QR Scan. Just search the App Store real quick, QR Scanner, and download it. Hopefully you have fast internet. Scan the code. Let me know in the question box when you scanned it.
Okay, hold on. I'm getting ready. I'm downloading mine real quick. This is kind of fun.
Yep, if you heard that
Almost
beep,
done.
that was me going there.
Okay, I've got a quick scan app. I'm going to scan it too.
Actually, I didn't give it enough time to load the link before I turned it off.
All right, I'm going to open
And now can you do the same thing with this by loading in, retargeting, and all of that with
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Awesome. All right, let's go to the stats. So are you guys ready? Is everybody ready?
Almost.
And everyone should do it twice because we have a split test on this. You're going to go to a different place the second time.
That's right. That's right. So I should leave it up for another few seconds. This is going to be exciting. Let's see how many people are paying attention.
Okay, so that's the one. Okay, hold on one second. Okay, so that took me to the first one.
And then, yeah, so I went to the first page,
Go
so
to
let me
the
go
second
back
one.
and open it again and see what happens on my phone. Ah, YouTube.
Voila.
Street
Yep.
food.
And you guys go ahead and subscribe.
Awesome. All right, you guys ready? Everybody click twice. Still, yeah, so the way we set it, Dirk, remember we set it to end, to stay with the last one. So it's just the setting that we did for that particular rotation, right? We selected the option to have it go through all the options and then just stick with the last one. So that's what you're experiencing. All right, let's go back to the stats. I got to look at that. Holy moly. We got people paying attention on the call. That's awesome. You guys see that?
Very cool.
13 visits. That's awesome. All right, so that was fun. There's something even more fun you can do with redirect links that aren't QR codes. Boom, 15. Look at that. People are still going at it. Wow. So very, very cool. And let's load this up in the wizard, shall we? Let's look at some of the other cool stuff we can do here. So we talked about split testing. We talked about framing. We talked about link juice. We talked about scarcity, which we didn't finish creating. So let's finish creating it real quick. I'll go back to the stuff that I did before. I'll give it a reference name, Jason Hodge split test. We're limiting time till midnight tonight. Put some notes in there if you want. And I'm going to not add scarcity to anything else right now. And I'm going to search for my Google link. There it is. I'm going to save that. You always want to look for that save button. It's saving. And we're done. Now we have scarcity. So you guys can scan that code all day long, but once you get to midnight, you're going to get redirected to google.com.
And now, there's something else I don't think anyone's ever seen before in a demo that maybe we could show. It's kind of neat. Can you create a new redirect link?
Mm-hmm. Do I want to duplicate this or create a new one?
Actually, just start from scratch and create a brand new redirect link. So close the wizard.
So are we not going to talk about variables and injections today?
Oh, we can. We can go back to that, but just to finish off on split testing.
All right, let's do it. So
and then before we leave this particular one, especially since this is going to be in the you know, the, what do you call it? It's going to be captured in, actually, you know what? That works. I get it. I get it. Never mind. I understand. I'm sorry.
Everyone on the call right now, Jason, is wondering, what did you just get?
Oh, right, okay. So I was, sorry, that's my internal dialogue there. Okay, yeah, happens more often than not. That's my little secret. Yeah, what I was working out is the logistics on when the scan expires at 12 o'clock this evening. The folks who are watching this replay, they're going to immediately pop over to Google.
That's right.
So I was saying we probably need to then turn around and then, you know, rebrand it so that it goes for, instead of a time limit, it goes to the amount of times either that they scan it or it goes to the scarcity, like after the first whatever, something else, so that when they see it, it's like, well, I don't get it. This QR code, it scans and it takes me to Google.
So, yeah, we can change that.
Yeah, we'll fix it before we end this call.
Okay, so quickly just create a new redirect. It doesn't matter. Like maybe you could show a different type of redirect link, like a keyword redirect link, and we could talk about the benefits of that a little bit.
Sure. So let's talk about the different types real quick. We talked all about QR codes. I learned a ton. We've got domain redirects, in which case you're just redirecting a complete domain to something. I think people use this, but I hardly ever do. I think it's a waste of a domain.
Not many people use it, and it's a tragedy because they are so powerful. And let's say you're doing an affiliate promotion for some product, I don't know, some redirect system like Trackerly, and you buy a domain that is like bestredirectsoftwareever.com. And that goes to your affiliate link, and then you can give out this very clean link that looks like it's actually the product, but it takes you to your affiliate link. And not that it'll ever happen, but if you're promoting some other product that gets replaced by a better product, bestredirectlink or service.com or whatever, you could just say go to that new product now, and you've got that domain out there. It's very easy to remember, very easy to share by word of mouth, because it's so easy to remember. And big national brands like Coke do this all the time. So I'm using it more and more. Now that we've added this service, this thing, I've got about 7 different domains on there.
So. Wow.
Okay,
well,
which brings me to this question that I had, y'all. When you have, like, okay, so for example, my askja.com domain, all that is what I use for my tracking. Can I actually have a functional website on that domain if I'm using Trackerly as well? Or is it only for redirects? Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
That
has been the #1 way that I have used Trackerly. I've got it on all my WordPress sites. I've got it on all my my other websites. And you could you install it. It plays nice. It goes in the background. And you just, the coolest thing about it, we didn't even get to, like, I'm telling you, we're like touching the surface of what Trackerly does. We've maybe talked about like 5% of it, maybe. And the coolest thing about it is when you're on your website and you're redirecting someone to some other website, but you want people to really see, to feel comfortable about the link. Imagine yourwebsite.com/page name, right? And it's actually a redirect. People trust that. You're going to get more clicks as compared to, you having some long affiliate link from ClickBank or something, right? Where now people are like, oh, this is an affiliate link. Well, they don't get that when you have that branded keyword link, which is what I do. which is what John wants me to show.
Yeah, and not only that, you can have all of your different domains tracked side by side, managed side by side, so you don't have to keep logging out of one dashboard and logging into another one, which you'll never really do. Here you can just track it all. You can say, show me all of my affiliate links that are on all of my domains, and boom, it goes.
How many domains can you add into?
How many do you want to put in? We have clients who have hundreds.
Okay.
I don't have hundreds. I have, like, I don't know, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, something like that. We'll see in a second how many I have. There's also a short link that you can create, which was automatically created by the QR code on a side note. And there's a branded short link, which I've added the ability to do, which basically gives you, I'll just show this real quick. I have like a really short URL that I like to use, right? And then branded keyword links. So now, I have different websites loaded. It's probably more than 10, huh? Would I have like 15 in here? Anyway, let's pick one of these, and let's just pick my my name right there. And we're calling this Jason Hodge, right? Jason Hodge 2. So now I'm getting to name. Let's make it simple. Let's just call it Jason 2. Because I have an idea of something I want to show you, and I want everybody to be able to type this. So it's Jason 2.
Bunch of ways that you can name you can name it to tell people where they're going to go so that they're more likely to click, even if they didn't read your sales copy. They see that URL and it says whatever, like best cat video ever, and they know, oh, I want to go click on that. You can use it, you can name it in ways that tell you where you put it. So you might put in dash Facebook or Facebook in there to say that you you put this link on Facebook or something like that. All sorts of options. So
now, is it case sensitive?
no. Well, optionally is. Default, no.
Say that again.
Yeah, I always do non-case sensitive just because I don't want people to try to go somewhere and if they have their caps lock on or something and not be able to do it.
So it is not case sensitive. It can be if you create a redirect link, Jason, and then Jason lowercase, then it's case sensitive. But if you don't, it isn't.
Ah, interesting. Okay, so it automatically decides for you.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll just do lowercase Jason 2 here, and then we're going to hit next. Okay. And again, I have an option to get organized. I'm going to skip being organized today. And now I'm thinking...
Okay, now here's what I want to show you. We're on the step where we would pick where we want to put it. So you show them, everyone, if you pick one place, it will send it to that place. If you pick two places, you can do a split test. But what if you want to send it to your split test that already exists? Well, in that case, you can go over to My Split Tests, exactly, and then it shows you all the split tests that you already have running. And you can just type in Jason.
You can see that? If you looked away, you missed that. So let's take a look at the screen. Here's a million things, okay? I just type it in Jason. Boom. There it is. I found it.
Right. So that's how you can do that. You can just select an existing split test and you can create a new traffic source for it without having to set everything up or like do it all over again, which you'd have to do in any other system.
Okay, now we're going to play a game. You guys ready to play a game?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to play a game of on the how should we call this, of in the moment tracking. So I've got this link, right? I want to send people to this link all the time, and I don't have time. I have like 2 seconds real quick. Someone's asking me, or we're chatting and someone's asking me, hey, what's the link real quick? And I don't want to rewrite it, but I want to make sure I track their clicks because they're about to send it to their email list. Right? I got 2 seconds to do this. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab this right here. I'm going to type this in, right? I'm going to copy this real quick.
There's also the copy to clipboard button.
Yeah, well, I would click, but I want to show everybody. I'm going to paste this here, and I'm going to put a dash, and I'm going to put, something to track it. So right now I'm going to put Leanne because I'm tracking it. Now here's what I want you guys to do. I'm going to paste this link. Now watch, it's going to go to the same place, okay? It's probably going to go to the, there we go. Okay, now check this out. Check this out. I'm going to paste this right in the chat box. All right, you guys ready? And what you're going to do is you're going to add a dash and your name. Okay, so again, you're going to put that link. You're going to copy that link. You're not going to click on it, right? You're going to copy it, paste it, put a dash, and then put your name, whatever your name is, right? And we're going to see what happens. And now, of course, because it's rotating, it's taking me to the YouTube, right?
Yeah, the reason it went to the first link the first time, even though you'd already clicked on the other link, is it's a brand new link that we just created. So it gets all the new settings, and it's starting from the beginning because it's a brand new link.
Perfect. So now let's look at the report for this.
Okay, where did you paste it? I don't see it. Paste it anywhere.
It's pasted in the box for people to see.
I don't.
You won't see it, but it's just it's leannecarmy.com/Jason2. All right. So here, you know what? Let me open up Google and I'll type it into Google. That way, everyone on the replay can see it. So nice central box in the middle. Okay, leannecarmy.com/Jason2. And then you're going to put a dash and then fill in your name here.
So I pasted it into the chat as well.
Cool.
And you can do this more than once if you want. If you want to get exciting, you can click on it multiple times. by
you could change things. Please don't use foul language, and I probably just gave people ideas. Yeah, just add your name and let's see who's paying attention on the call. All right, let's see who's paying attention. So it's lianecarmi.com. It's lianecarmi.com/Jason2-your name. All right. Now check it out. We're filtered to this, right? We're filtered to this link. We're going to change something here. We're going to look at demo.
Okay, so yeah, because it filtered to it, you're not going to see any others because it's matching that one.
Now watch this. You're going to miss this, okay? I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to show. So watch the screen right now. Watch where I'm going. Right now I've got this showing, right? Watch this. See that?
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Now I'm going to do a search for my demo group.
Or you could just go to most recently clicked.
Oh, sure.
Or, I mean, there's so many different ways to get to things. So.
Or my demo, no, let's see. Newest created. That's what I want. Newest created. We're going to clear this again. All right. Good Lord. Look at this. You guys see this? All right, let's see who's paying attention. Are you ready? You guys see what's going on here?
Wow.
Here's the original click. All right. Here's mine. Here's mine again. Here's Brian, here's Dirk, here's George, here's John Reel, here's Fred, here's Lloyd again, here's Jason, here's Tatum, here's Ian. You guys see this?
And if you
get a chance to get your name on the big screen right now.
And I would suggest everyone do it again right now and then watch the stats as they change live.
Yeah, watch your name go up.
We'll see who's the most eager person. And I'm betting it's going to be Dirk.
I've got my money on Dirk for sure.
Clearly our biggest fan on the call right now.
Okay, and so then it redirected also to the YouTube. So it bounces back and forth between the two. Okay, and so since it went to YouTube last, now it's going to stay going to YouTube.
Because that's the way we set it on that.
Man, Jason's winning. All right, guys, step it up.
And I've got it on our to-do list. We're going to change it so it doesn't say copy to of Jason Hodge 2. It's going to say, John Reel copy of Jason Hodge 2. So it'll put the text that we entered in right into the name. So that's something we're going to change. It's on the to-do list. There's a bunch of things on the to-do list, about 10,000 things, give or take. We've got a lot of fun.
Oh, look at that. Oh, Dirk's playing. Oh, Jason, you gotta speed it up. He's catching up to you. So maybe we'll come back and check this after the call again.
But there's a lot of ways to use this. This is a very powerful tool with this particular feature is a very powerful feature to really track your marketing without doing any work. You don't have to log in to create links. You can just go and type in a link as you're doing your marketing. So that link could be, I'm doing a pay-per-click ad, so I'm going to say it's a dash Google ad group number, whatever. Put all that stuff in there, and then as soon as someone clicks on it, the link will be created in Trackerly, and you can see how many people clicked on that ad, and you didn't have to set it up. It was just there. Other people say, dash Facebook, dash YouTube, and then they know where the traffic is coming from without, again, having to set it up in advance. And
you could be super specific. I mean, those of you who run Facebook ads, you know that oftentimes you have like 20 different campaigns or 20 different ad groups inside your campaign. You could separate all those ad groups and all your ads. Oh my God, they're still going at it. All right. I'm going to give it 10 more seconds, and then we're going to call the winner. And Tatum's really going at it too. Tatum's trying to catch up. Go Tatum, underdog. Right now, Jason's in the lead by 1 point. Come on, Dirk. We're going to give it till the next refresh, and then we're declaring the winner.
And,
for
and
bragging rights.
in the training, we also have a number of our clients. As Leanne's been with us for 9 years, but she's not the only marketing coach or marketing trainer who's been with us for 9 years. There's actually a bunch of them who joined up in 2006 and have been running their business on our software ever since, and upgrading with every version that we've had, and are supporting us and supporting our launch and creating training material. And there's a number of people who have been using this particular feature in completely different ways, and using it in their email marketing and their other types of marketing. So our training is going to include interviews with all those people and how they're doing it. So yeah, it's a very cool feature that you're seeing right now.
And right now I'm cracking up, John, because I can see they're still going at it. It's
21
crazy.
visits.
I know, 21.9 for Tatum in third place. Second place, Dirk. Great job, guys. And, of course, Jason. We had to let Jason win because he's one of the presenters. So.
Highly competitive.
Oh, Dirk's in the lead. Oh, my gosh. All right, so we're going to stop this now so you guys can pay attention. We're actually at 30 past, so we've been at this for 90 minutes, so I want to respect everyone's time. I want to respect your brain. It needs time to digest a lot of this stuff. What I highly, highly recommend is hopping in here yourself and playing around. I think we'll do Q&A, by the way, so don't hop off yet. We'll answer all your questions because you got a bunch in here. But I think here Dirk said you need 9 years to go over it all, and yeah, I think you need like 20 years. So definitely get started now if you're not already in here, because you need that time to learn this tool. It's going to get better and better and better. There's so many amazing things we didn't even talk about. We're just barely scratching the surface. There's injections. You can do retargeting, which is amazing. I mentioned that in the beginning of the call. So many phenomenal things that can be done with this tool to save you time and to save you the headache of needing a million logins. You can actually save, a lot of times people will save their logging information to stuff in the notes, right, so they know where to go. It's like a dashboard for everything, and you're going to have to stay tuned to our next call in order to learn some of the 5 million other things that you can do with this, because it's just that immense and that amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, we didn't even cover injections, which is one of the huge features.
Which is my favorite thing. So we're going to have to do that next time. And I know, John, you've got some training on the site about injections, right? You've got a replay. You've also got the link game that we didn't get to do. So perhaps you can send that out to the attendees afterwards. Mm-hmm. And just make sure that they have access to all of that so they can enjoy the training. They can play the game, which is a lot of fun, and just and enjoy everything else that Trackly has to offer. And they're still going at it. Look at this. Good Lord.
One quick question.
Yes.
One quick question. So now, when you add the extra extension, does it also, I see that it creates the copy. Now, does it also create like a, are you able to then, I'm trying to think of why that would be a good thing to do. I can see some things why it would be a good thing to do. I'm looking at it from the standpoint, though, of like when you're creating creatives, how do you do that on the fly and it make sense to what's going on with your marketing? I don't know if I asked that correctly.
I think so. Let me answer it, and then if I don't quite get to the heart of your question, you can rephrase it. But basically,
what I'm looking at is the relevance of it, like how this works when it comes to folks getting credit or commissions if you're doing something in relation to affiliates and they just pop their own thing in there.
See, that's another thing we didn't get to talk about, which is you can actually add variables to the end of you can inject variables, and you can add extra variables to the end of your redirect that get passed on to the destination link. So that's another amazing thing that we didn't get a chance to go over.
And
we might have to do another 5 calls with you, Jason.
But okay. I think to answer your question, this is like we wouldn't normally say, you add whatever you want to the end of the link as the people clicking on the link. That's something that you would do when you're setting up your marketing. You would create one redirect link in Trackly, and then you can use it over and over and over again as sort of like your your root link, your base link, but then you, as you're creating a marketing campaign, you add dash whatever, and that will identify and separate out that particular marketing campaign from all the rest so that you can see how well that marketing campaign did. And then but you didn't have to go into Trackerly and set it up as a new redirect link separate from the rest. You did it automatically by just adding the dash. Does that make sense now?
It does. So if I was, for example, creating, maybe I wanted to do something geo-targeted, so I create a link for, zip code 98105 and then one for 98104. People going to those links in these different areas, I could see which area is the most responsive.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and you wouldn't have to set the links up in advance.
Yeah. And then if I was running a contest, then I could say, okay, you guys, I'm running a contest. You guys go ahead, plug your, here's the link. Just add a dash and your username if it's membership or whatever. And then whoever has the most clicks that come through, they'll end up with the prize or whatever.
Oh, definitely, and you can say unique clicks. So if you want people to promote you and you're saying whoever gets the most unique clicks and now they have to share that link, yeah. Yeah, awesome. Phenomenal idea. So I want to show you another use for these redirects, which is something I use personally, just real quick. So I'm going to search for a link type that I have, and I think I need to clear the search first there's Let's see. So as you can see, after 9 years, I still sometimes stumble around here.
And there's reasons that, there's different ways that we can make it easier to use, and we have plans to make it super simple, and we keep simplifying things. So you won't be stumbling around. In another 6 months, we'll have a much improved searching platform that allows you to search way faster and easier. And not that this one's bad or anything, but we can make it better. So we've got plans for that. And you can also save and load reports too. So once you've done a search, you can save it so you can come back to it later without having to do it again. And there's all these filters and stuff we haven't got into. It's a very powerful reporting tool.
Yeah, and you guys have just in that last demonstration, you've saved me at least 20 hours worth of work that I can foresee. Just being able to, on the fly, pop the things in there, because what I was doing was going in and creating a whole new redirect in order to go to a different platform, a different campaign. Now all I have to do is pop a dash in Facebook, a dash in Instagram, a dash in YouTube or whatever, and I can check it. I can try it. That's
exactly awesome.
Exactly. And here's one of the ways that I use it. This little link, you probably can't see it. It's I like to get like funky domains that say something. So I have one that says yourtimeHas.co/me is my redirect link, redirect link that goes to where I want it to go, and then I'll put a dash and the actual the keyword that I want people to see. So your time has come dash and then whoever I'm talking to, teachers, your time has come dash whatever other group of people that I'm talking to, and now the link is customized to them. It's a link that you can read, right, which is kind of cool, and then it lets me track my my social media work. So when I've got campaigns in different social media accounts and they're each targeting different type of community, I can target it that way, and people think, wow, this is all about me, which makes it more likely that they'll click. So that's kind of what I wanted to show. So let's do this. We can talk about maybe setting up another call to go over some of the other things that are going to save you a ton of time and make your clients super happy. For now, let's go through and answer people's questions so that, again, I want to respect everyone's time.
Okay. And before we do, so start typing in your questions, and we'll go through them and answer all the questions that you have. I said on the email that I sent out that I would share a bit of news, so I wanted to tell people a bit about what's going on. I mentioned that we've been working on this whole launch thing for a while. Launches are very big projects. There's testing things out and getting things right, and then preparing for the real launch, and then doing the launch. And we're launching in November now. We've got people joining our team every week. We had this new guy who's computer engineer who joined us yesterday. We, a server admin guy, all that sort of stuff. The week before that, we had one of the top traffic experts join us, who's going to be one of our trainers for all of our clients, along with Leanne. And he's joining us full-time. He is responsible for writing million-dollar sales letters, brought several companies up to 6 figures, and all sorts of things in his history as well. And we've got a couple of the biggest JV brokers on the planet who are going to be helping us get our launch going and getting people promoting. And our goal is to turn this into the de facto standard that everyone uses. And again, all of the resources all of the money that comes in from that launch is going straight back into the company, into hiring, building the company. We've got our ex-support person. She was with us for 5 years. She's coming back as well and joining us full time. It's all about building the company so that we can serve you better. And I've invented dozens of new technologies as part of Trackerly and dozens of new marketing techniques as part of Trackerly. And my to-do list is of my vision of Trackerly is only a fraction of it's been done. And that's why I want more and more people to build this company and make it so it's super easy to use and it's extremely powerful in ways that no one's ever dreamed of, that I've been thinking about, because I've been thinking about links for 11 years. So I've got all these plans, and they're going to start coming in the next year, because we're going to have the resources from this launch to do incredible stuff. It's very, very exciting. So I just want to share that.
You should probably let people know about the discount pricing as well that's available right now. Because I think you mentioned to me that we're doing some kind of a dime sale pricing or something like that, where the cost is going to keep going up during the launch. So if anyone knows they want this, it's probably a good idea to grab it now and keep that price for lifetime, no matter what ends up happening and how much it ends up costing in the future.
That's right. That's right. So yes, the price will be going up, and when we launch, it'll go up to full price basically that day, because we're going to have so many people promoting all at once. So and we're getting them all using the software and transitioning to it, and so this is going to be the thing that they use, that they train their clients on. And yeah, so because you happen to be here for whatever reason, you found us before we're officially launching and before anyone really knows about us, and that's because one of our clients sent you here, then take advantage of the opportunity. This is going to be the standard that everyone's going to be using. This is a huge platform.
Absolutely. And let me jump in real quick. So for those of you who are watching based on my invitation, and you're listening to this replay even, you see it right here, and we haven't even begun to scratch the tip of the iceberg. And for somebody like me who is a media planner who really works inside of the official marketplace, this is something that got me to take a second look, because I'm looking at it as not only an incredible resource, but one that is going to save a massive amount of time and concentrate all of the platforms underneath one umbrella. So instead of having your admin go all over the place to make things work, to hack things together, you've got the ability to not only understand your metrics, and for those of you who how I talk about multiple revenue streams, how I talk about getting those marketing dollars as opposed to just the grant dollars. With the marketing dollars, you need to have your metrics in place. There are a few key factors that we talk about, and those of you who've been on calls with me before, that gets that marketing dollar going into your bank account. And that is knowing how to isolate the demographics, the psychographics, the cytographics, all of the things that are important to those funders. So if you have a tool like this, a platform like this, to be able to now show, in real time what it is that's happening inside of your marketplace, why your event is the event to go to, why your event is the event to sponsor, this is a no-brainer. You've just made a no-brainer situation for yourself. So pop on over to askjah.com/trackit. Again, that's askjah.com, askjah.com/trackit. And then go ahead and put a dash bonus, all right? And then you'll get a little extra something on the back end of that with some more training on how to use other things to grow your organization that much more. All right.
Awesome. And let me get that link again. I want to type it in here and let people go to your site. So they want to type in.
That's askjah.com, askjah.com/trackit.
Like this?
And then put in a dash bonus.
So bonus or your name? Their name?
Well, yeah, they could do their name. That's actually a better idea, Leanne. Thank you. Because that way I'll know who it is who plugged in.
Yeah. So let's do your full name. And that way they can get their bonus.
So one of the things that we're also doing is what we found is we were selling this, and I had a certain amount of training. And the people who were really doing well were all the internet marketer trainers, and they came up with all these different ways of using Tractly, like just this idea right now that the two of you together came up with. And that's why now with this launch that we're going big, we've got marketing trainers as part of our program so that we can talk to you individually and say, okay, tell us what you're doing with your business. Here's how you can apply things to become a better marketer, to do more creative marketing that helps you make more money while actually serving your audience better so that you're able to give them more value instead of being like all the other marketers who are just sell, sell, sell. You can provide more value because of all the tools that are in Tractly, and we'll like actually look at your business. We're going to be launching when we launch, we're going to be also launching a coaching program where we'll handhold you and say, okay, here's how to use it within your business, and give you advice to make you better. So you don't have to figure it out all yourself. We'll show you exactly how to do it.
Awesome. Awesome.
Fantastic. So,
well,
yeah,
had I
so
not
definitely
already been sold you all, I would be sold. I said, had I not already been sold, I would be sold. Right now.
Yeah, and the link is on the screen right now, typed into Google. But definitely, change your full name to your actual full name. Hop in there. If you're not already using Tractly, you've already seen there's a ton of stuff that you want to start playing with in there. So let's go through the questions, get people's questions answered. Ivy's got a question about, she's got a scenario. Imagine you want to put a QR code on a vendor's window. Can you have a coupon? Can you have it linked to a coupon or something for a free cup of coffee or some kind of merchandise discount? So the answer is yes, absolutely. And I'm sure, I'm willing to bet that Jason has a really awesome idea about how to do that since he's a big QR code guy.
Okay, so the question is on putting a QR code on a window.
In order to provide some kind of a coupon or something to entice people to go into the business and actually purchase something.
Okay, so I'm kind of smiling now because I just have a brainstorm of ideas that just hit me with that question. Okay, first thing is that you can turn that into something that just how we went over the scenario of having every time that thing is scanned, then they go to another offer or another video or what have you. There could be initial scan and that video can pop up, hey, just wanted to welcome you, pop on in, get yourself a free cup of coffee or whatever it is that you want to bring them in for, right? And then make sure that you come back often. Every time you scan, you're going to have a new thing that you can get by popping into our store. So what that does is that creates almost like a loss leader, something to just bring them in, bring them back to scan because they don't know what's behind that next scan. And then at the end of the scan, let's say that it's like on your 10th visit you get some other free thing. They pop in on that 10th visit, that 10th scan, now here it is, they now get a free whatever it is, right? So you kind of figure out what creative thing that you can do on that 10th scan, but it will take the what do you call it, the membership card, how you get those stamps on the card or they punch a hole in it. It takes that to a whole different level.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a great idea. I'm very happy about that. I'm creating a little ebook of all of the great ideas we get from these webinars, and I'm sure we've got at least 7 the new ideas on this webinar. So excellent. Thank you.
Wow. Yeah, I was just going to say put a lead capture page of some sort behind it, and and send them coupon offers in the mail to bring them back. But what Jason said was a lot cooler. So hopefully that helps, Ivy. Let's go through these. There's a ton of questions. So if I skip yours by accident, you can type it in again, or just accept my apology in advance. When you use the limit, how does the program tell the items were actually purchased? So 2 ways to do that, Dudley. Basically, you can usually track just clicks, so you don't know that they're actually purchased. However, you can change that to go to, let's say, the order form. You can have the click from your sales page to your order form be that, and then again, you're limiting that. But John, I think that we're working on doing something like that where you can actually track sales, correct?
Yes, so we're working with Nana Gilbert-Buffo, who is the owner of Prosper 202 and Tracking 202. And that's a CPA tracking system, and he's helping us make sure that we do it all correctly when we add in conversion tracking, which is the next big feature that we're going to be working on. And when we add conversion tracking, we're going to be integrating it with everything in Trackerly. So that will mean there'll be a third option for scarcity, which will be the number of sales. So right now you can't track sales to that degree. You could put a tracking pixel on your sales page and know that a sale happened, but we're going to be integrating it throughout much more powerfully than that. Sorry, for a second I thought my microphone was off.
I can give you guys a really cool hack until you get all of that stuff in order that I think you guys are going to absolutely love.
Yes, please.
You guys ready for it? Okay. All right, so here's what you do. You stood it down good. Here's what you do. What you do is you set up, your traditional sales page and this, that, and the other. Now, depending on whether you're using PayPal or whatever, at the point that they actually do make the purchase, the redirect link that they can't get to without making the purchase is one of your Trackerly links. That will trigger that this has come in from this IP or what have you, so then you know, okay, this many clicks went through, this many sales resulted.
That's a really neat idea. It still requires you to be there watching it, though, and turning it off when you see that. But maybe John can do some cool programming and have
turning what off?
So if the thank you page is what's counting how many sales were made.
No, what's happening is that once they click the button, right? Mm-hmm. And so, like, if you're doing PayPal, then you have the ability to plop a link in to that thing. Like, once the sale is made, then take them to this link, right? Or once the sale is made, then email them this link. So they click on the link to get their product. Now you know that the sale has been made because they clicked the link, or the sale has been made because this link has been triggered and redirects them there. You could do that with JVZoo. You could do that with your PayPal stuff. And then if you have something that's just sitting on your website where it goes through your regular processing, if it's a physical product, that's one thing. If it's a digital product, then when they get the email saying thank you, click here to download your product, that click now lets folks know, they triggered that link. It takes them over to the download, but in taking them over, now you have tracking. No, I just got a conversion, and I got a click from that conversion.
So that's a really cool idea. It doesn't quite solve the problem that the question was about, but it's a very cool idea, and it gave me an idea for a new feature that won't take that long to add in. So there you go.
Awesome.
That will actually
John,
solve the problem.
We actually have just a couple, maybe 3 more questions in the queue here. One of them is actually a feature request. That's also one of mine. This comes from Dirk, who's been using and who says that injections are actually his favorite thing. We didn't get to go over that today, but he says, when will we be able, or not say when, and I I say when. He says, will we be able to export reports for local clients maybe in the future? So is that kind of a reporting or a CSV download function something you think that you might be able to add?
Yeah, it's fairly high up on the list. There's a number of reasons we need to be adding that. We used to have it, and just somewhere along the line when we upgraded to this the latest version, a few versions back, it got lost because the difference was so big in between one version and the next that it no longer worked, and we haven't recreated it. So it was there, it will come back, and there's a number of things that you can do with that beyond giving reports to your clients and stuff like that. One technique that Nana told us about is how he cleans up his email lists using Trackerly and exporting the old export feature. So there's a bunch of reasons we want to add it back in, but we don't want to do a poor job of it. So it's a bit of a job. So the next couple of months, we're pretty much focused on launching. So any features we're doing are going to be related to setting things up for our partners, our affiliates, and stuff like that. And then after that, we have people lined up to hire programmers, and we are going to be going crazy on adding features and cleaning things up that need cleaning up. It's a very powerful program, but it's with power you find like, oh, these edge cases that didn't quite work, and then you have to tweak things, and then you say, okay, if I could do it all over again, I'd make it look like this. So we're going to be making a bunch of improvements as soon as the launch is done.
Awesome. So question from Brian. Brian says, does Trackerly give the gifts or bonuses automatically? So Brian, you could definitely set that up. So just as an example to go off of what Jason was saying earlier about, let's say, a redirect link after someone purchases something, if you have a bonus, say, for the first 10 people who purchase the product from you, you can absolutely do that. You can have Trackerly redirect to that link with the bonuses, and then you can limit that. So the 11th person would get a page that says, I'm sorry, you were a little bit too slow hitting the buy button, right? But in terms of actually delivering, you would have to do that via some kind of CRM. So whether you're using GetResponse or Aweber or another autoresponder, or if you're using something like Lead Pages that has a lead magnet delivery and things like that. So that's something that Trackerly doesn't actually do, because Trackerly is all about the tracking and everything that you're doing with the links themselves. It's not actually a content delivery system. So hopefully that makes sense.
Oh, this new idea I have is so good. Okay, so just so I don't forget it, I'm going to record it on this call. So one of the other things that you could do, so you're asking earlier about why people might want to frame a link. Okay, so here's a reason. Let's say you're giving out a bonus, and it's a limited, whether it's limited or not, but if it's limited, you would have one page that you've got framed and another page that you don't have framed. So let's say you're promoting Trackerly and you've got a bonus for the first 10 people who click on the link. And on the first 10 people, you send to a page that you've got framed. At the top of the thing, you put a header and in the frame, and you eject a header, and you say, enter in your email to collect your bonus. And after you purchase, enter in your email to collect your bonus. And then on the other one, you don't have the header. So after the 10 people have gone in, you take away the header. So that's something where it's like, first 10 people who click. Now later on, when we have first 10 people who buy, then we can make that even more interesting. And I'll remember my idea. I'm not going to tell you the other side of the idea until the feature is actually ready, but it's connected to that. So that's just an audio note for myself. Thank you.
Cool. So one last question. Let's answer this. And guys, if you have more questions about Trackerly, is it support@Trackerly?
Yeah, help@tracker.ly.
Oh, help. Okay, thank you. Help@tracker.ly if you have any other questions about this, or if you want to know more about QR codes, you know who to ask. Jason. Let's take this last one because it's a concern that I think other people might be having. Tim is saying, what about when you're doing that kind of conversion tracking, what about if the customer goes back to the download page, let's say, and it shows another click, right? So is there a way to track by unique IPs versus just any clicks? Like, one person can say, oh, I'm just going to get all the bonuses, and click on it 100 times.
Yeah, let me think about that. I have some ideas. One of the things that we're working on, I've been talking to this other company, and we are currently testing their platform for doing much better tracking of people, so we wouldn't be using cookies anymore. I won't say anything more. And so as part of that, we'll look at that sort of thing. So thank you for mentioning it, and I'll put it on our things to talk about list.
Awesome. So, wow, I'm going to give a huge thank you, first of all, to John Reel for setting this up. Second of all, to Jason Hodge, because I learned a ton of stuff, not only about QR codes, but about things that I just didn't know in terms of media planning and in terms of nonprofit organizations. And it's so wonderful to see that. And listen, I got to thank all of you guys who are here on the call, because, boy, Jason really knows how to bring amazing people on the call. We have great questions, great interactions, and just a wonderful call. So, John, thank you. Jason, thank you so much for such a wonderful call, and thanks to everyone who attended.
Awesome, and thank you, Leanne, for doing it all. That was so much more relaxing.
And
yes, I hope you enjoyed.
I have to say, I had such an amazing time with you all. I'm looking forward to the next iterations of these trainings. This was a lot of fun. And it allowed me to geek out, which is, I love that.
Awesome. So anyone on the call or on the replay right now, you don't have Trackly yet, you need to get in there and play. This is the link for you, askjah.com/trackit-your full name, and he might have some bonuses for you, so you want to definitely put your full name in there. And if you're already in Trackerly, you have any questions, help@tracker.ly. Have a great, wonderful day, everyone.
All right. Thank you very much for coming. Talk to you soon.
Have a good one, you all.